Unless something is fixed, what happened to me could happen to so many, and it actually does happen to so many.
My reputation is at stake.
Well, I just totaled them over $40,000 in lawyers' fees.
Board and members of the committee, my name is Andrea Peschel Swan. I appreciate your time to listen to my story today and why this is important. I'm gonna get emotional.
Just take a deep breath.
Take me back to 2016. You didn't renew your license.
The reality is I didn't renew, and the reality is I didn't know. I just didn't know.
And in June of 2016, I made the clerical error of forgetting to renew my Minnesota state license. All I can say in all honesty is that I made a mistake, but more importantly, I didn't realize it until 2022, which means I missed renewal in 2018 and 2020 as well.
I renewed with New York because I got an email from New York and I got letters from New York, like reminding us. So I just felt like I was doing everything right. The hardest part, the most time-consuming part, I was doing it. I went to the convention every year. I was, doing my exams. The one thing I forgot to do was log in, check the box, and pay the $135 or so fee. I did forget.
Had I received any notification of any kind from my board, either pre or post lapse, I would have maintained it as I have in New York State, who I receive both mail and email reminders from.
This was like a big deal to me, and I was shocked and horrified and like, oh my God. Well, the first thing I got to do is fix it. When I went on to renew it, they wouldn't I couldn't then, so I had a call, and so when I called is when they notified me that I can't renew if it's been lapsed for so long. And I'm like, how long has it been lapsed? And they said 2016, and I'm like.
The process for reinstatement was surprisingly straightforward. It seemed too good to be true, and it was. Days after receiving my reinstatement letter, I received a letter of complaint from the board. My simple clerical error has become a catalyst for what has been nothing short of an inquisition by my board's complaint committee and its executive director. Their year-long investigation has caused enormous stress, both emotionally as well as financially. I have felt helpless, intimidated, and bullied.
Well, I just totaled them over $40,000 in lawyers' fees. And I haven't even, out of respect to my own time, I haven't kept track of how much time I've taken. What they did to me in terms of the investigation, as a single business owner, not having any admin resources besides my bookkeeper, who I pay a lot of money to actually help me maintain my books, not do this. I mean, what they were demanding of me took so much time, but I did it all in the spirit of cooperating. At the beginning, when I was asking for clarity, are you going after my firm or are you going after me? And they said, no, you. They can't go after a whole firm. Like, there's no precedent of going after a whole firm. But that's in fact what they did to me at the end. They asked me to present every document, every drawing this firm had ever generated. I thought if I give them what they're asking for at every interval, it'll go away. But it never did.
And what's at stake now for me? Now, professionally, with their proposed stipulation and consent order, is more than just financial. My reputation is at stake, given how they publish all orders on their website and newsletters. This usually offers water cooler fodder each month they send these out. But there's also the financial penalty at stake. At $27,000, their proposed fine is exponentially higher than any past precedent we can find. And as I'm in the process of contesting, I'm still trying to understand what actual egregious act I committed towards any single person or entity of the public harming their health, safety, or welfare to be deserving of what they're proposing.
unless something is fixed, what happened to me could happen to so many, and it actually does happen to so many. Like, this is my new mission. It's not to make it law to be licensed to practice residential architecture. It's now to fix this, to fix what they're doing to me from happening to anybody else. Basically every other type of profession that requires a license gets an email reminder. I thought, it seems like it's time that our board does that too. So that's when I picked up the phone and I decided to call my local Congressman, Zach Stevenson. He's the one that said, you know what, there's a lot of things we can do, but like the first thing we can do is, you know, when Congress is in session again, I can draft a bill to make it a law, that the board sends out email reminders. And I'm like, we can do that?
If one good thing can come from this, it would be the passing of this bill, which I know wholeheartedly would prevent what I'm currently going through from happening to future licensed professionals within my board's umbrella, especially small business owners such as myself, who don't have administrative resources on staff, whose responsibility it is to remind their professionals to renew.
I certainly think that licenses renewal, but we should recognize the modern age and shift to email notifications.
Somebody that's probably held 4 professional licenses at a time and continued CEUs, it's hard to keep track of this, so I really empathize with the testifier earlier.
You know, my wife is an engineer, so she gets these things as well. She's an industrial engineer. So I do understand that there is a need, and I don't see that this is going to cause the world to end.
This isn't fiscally neutral. It will cost the board some money to put this together.
We have to find somebody to do that work. We don't have the staff any longer to do it.
I mean, I was kind of surprised to hear some of the testimony against it. It seemed a little overwrought.
Most of the cost is for a mailing to notify people that you will be getting emails.
Couldn't you just incorporate some language onto the existing mailings that go out? Congratulations, we've shifted. Now you'll be getting reminder emails. That's all it needs to say. And if you would like to opt out, send it here.
When I can order a pizza on my phone and have it show up, you would hope that a group of engineers could get to the point where they could renew online or be notified online. So.
So there's 2 parts. There's I think the poor treatment of a licensee, and then how can we maybe have it not happen again? So it's not this committee's jurisdiction to deal with what one board does to one licensee who let her license lapse, but how about if we just fix it for the future so then somebody else won't even have to experience such?
I wasn't practicing commercial architecture. They're trying to say it was the same thing. The way that they have it phrased, again, there's words on there like fraud and dishonesty and deception that simply aren't true. And I actually brought it to their attention, like, hey, this did say that, you know, it had my license number on there, but it's basically the same thing I acknowledged from day one. I thought I was an architect and I had my license on there. They were and are claiming that that is the same exact thing as signing and sealing, you know, drawings that a licensed architect is required to sign and seal for commercial permit. No way that that would constitute signed and sealed. The $13,000 is simply incorrigible. I mean, people that actually have in the past admitted to providing sign and seals plans for commercial that never could or should because they never were licensed architects, their fines were astronomically less. Like I would be the worst offender, have the worst violations against me if I still accepted.